Good morning, astrology lovers. I am sorry that I was not on yesterday for the daily astrology shorts that I tried to do. The sun was activating my natal Saturn and Venus together, and I was just having this really down day, wondering if what I do makes a difference and if it is, a financially viable option worth even considering. Is my time and knowledge with astrology worth my while in doing? So I was having trouble getting motivated to come on and do a video, quite honestly. But that transit has now moved on a little bit, so I'm feeling a little bit better today. But the astrology overall, that's how it was hitting. That was just the moon and how it was hitting my own personal chart. But the astrology overall yesterday and today is huge. So this is going to be a little bit longer than a short, but should still be a pretty short video as well. I want to keep this time sensitive. Okay, so I've got yesterday's chart up on the screen, and so what we've got with the there are 5 exact transits happening between yesterday, January 9th, and today, January 10th. So yesterday we had the sun conjunct Mars exactly at 19 degrees 12 minutes, and it is still activating this triple conjunction as well. Venus is still at 9 degrees. It's just not exact with the sun and Mars, but still pretty much considered an exact conjunction because it's within a 1 degree. It's just not exact, but it was exact earlier this week. So this energy is all still very, very strong. But so the sun conjunct Mars resets a 2-year cycle. In Capricorn in particular, you can see here in this aspect search engine that it only happens between every 14 to about 33 years. So it is a longer cycle that it's starting in Capricorn, in themes of Capricorn. So the sun overall is our drive, our ego, our vitality, what we want to do in this world, right? Where we want to put our energy. And Mars is our willpower, our motivation, our drive, our fighting spirit, things like that. So when the sun and Mars come together to start a new cycle, it's very powerful. It's where we are going to be motivated. It also, Mars can be challenging, so it could also be where we may have some challenges, but different in the sense of not the same type of challenges as like Saturn. These are more like challenges in aggressiveness or like being too assertive, or could potentially be challenges with health related issues, like especially if we aren't dealing with the harder emotional aspects of life or don't have a way to channel that energy. But this this month is a huge Capricorn activation with all these conjunctions happening in Capricorn and the aspects that they're making, which we're going to talk about as well. But so the activation in Capricorn wants to build things steadily and methodically, and its ruler is Saturn, so it's building the foundation. It's being willing to do the hard work. So Mars conjunct Saturn in Capricorn is showing us that we are willing to do the hard work over the next 2 years, and there may be some hard work required to put in the willpower and to have the drive and the desire to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish, but that we also need to be practical and steady. And like Mars wants to rush things forward, right? And Capricorn is kind of like, whoa, we need to think about what we're doing. This is not the time to be impulsive. This is the time to act methodically and kind of slowly and build upon what we want to build so that it can last a long time into the future. Capricorn is, our work, our career, our whatever. So we're having the motivation and the drive to kind of renegotiate and evaluate basically what work means to us. And I think also with Mars being the planet of that passion and desire and things like that, it's helping us reprogram, reevaluate how we work, right? I've talked about this a lot. We often go to jobs that we hate and stuff like that, and that system is no longer working for us, right? So this new cycle being set for the next one will happen in 2072, I think that chart said. So for the next 30 years, we're going to be, or 40, whatever, we are going to be kind of renegotiating in our world and in our minds. How do I create the stability that I want and the work that I want, doing the things that I am passionate about? How can I, instead of going to a job that I hate, how can I incorporate the things that I naturally love doing, the things that naturally bring me more vitality and energy? How can I combine those into the work that I love doing, instead of continuing to go to jobs that we hate, that don't pay us what we want, that we're having trouble surviving on, right? Like, how do we make what we want and what we desire a reality in our work and build a society around that? And then with it being conjunct, still Venus too, it's how do we bring beauty and the finances, right? Venus is finances. How do we bring beauty and compassion and love into that as well? Like merging the things that we're passionate about and the things where we can spread compassion and love to other people and relationships. Like, what is our relationship with our work? How do our relationships interact with our work life? What is the passion? What is the creativity? How to bring creativity and beauty into our desires and into our work. That's kind of what all of these things in Capricorn are resetting for us, which is really beautiful. So then we also yesterday had Mercury in Capricorn making an exact sextile to the North Node in Pisces. So this is, Mercury is our mind, our thought processes, our belief systems, how we communicate, things like that. And with the sextile to the North Node in Pisces, right, the North Node is asking us to trust more, to trust in what is unfolding and not having to know all the steps that Virgo would normally want to know, right? Like leaning into the trust, leaning into the ideas of trust and faith and compassion and love and seeing all sides of a situation and trusting our intuition when it comes through. Like, this is a big intuition activation too, right? With this being our mind and Pisces in the North Node being connected to the hidden realms and such. So this could be, just really tapping into your intuition and kind of activating that a little bit more. So if you are having intuitive hits, more dreams, things like that, pay attention to them. And then the last things is that yesterday, Venus opposite Jupiter conjunction became exact, and today, January 10th, the Sun and Mars opposite Jupiter retrograde in Cancer became exact. So oppositions are usually tension points in that oppositions want balance, right? It's two sides of the same coin, kind of. It wants to balance this energy out. It's not necessarily asking for a choice to be made like squares are. But we have this T-square here that you can see building as well, which I might briefly touch on. But this opposition wants us to balance things out. So we have this heavy, heavy Capricorn activation going on with these conjunctions, which are in and of themselves later going to be making sextiles over here and having that conversation. But first, they are opposing Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, which is, Capricorn is like our work life, our outward presentation, how we show up in the world to do the things that we need to do. Cancer is more not only our internal world, but also our home life, our nurturing, our emotions, things like that. And retrograde brings the energy internal, right? So Jupiter retrograde is having us, Jupiter retrograde in Cancer is helping us make sure that we aren't too focused on work, right? Like everybody, I think at some point in their lives struggles with the work-home life balance, right? And we're so focused on, with the economy collapsing in all different places and us trying to figure out collectively and individually how to simply survive right now overall, what to do about all these things, how to change the system to make it work for ourselves, how to rebuild while tearing down all of these things. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer is here making sure that we're considering that whatever we're doing, we're also not forgetting about our own self-care. We're not forgetting about, well, how would this look like in work-life-home balance? Can we perhaps work from home more? Or, just bringing in some of that, as well as I really feel, since Cancer is also related to ancestry and things like that, and Jupiter is like a planet of wisdom, and retrograde, I feel like, is indicating ancient wisdom. I'm not sure I've heard too many other astrologers interpret this way, but this is just the way I'm honestly feeling this energy. So bringing back ancient wisdom of perhaps how we did things in ancient traditions, right? And how that balance worked. And, of course, bringing, we can't go all the way back to do that, but bring the wisdom of that and figure out how to incorporate that wisdom into, today's landscape, basically. So I think there's a lot of that. That's what this opposition is asking, is don't forget to pay attention to our emotional landscape, to our home. Make sure that what we're focused on right here is emotionally not going to drain us, right? Because if we're putting all this energy over here, but we're totally depleting ourselves and not taking time to engage in any self-care or anything like that, like we're not building it on a very good foundation, right? So to make sure to balance these out and bring forth any wisdom or lost opportunities that we may have had, Cancers, lost opportunities. So maybe how we can incorporate the home and have just like in our building of this new world, like incorporate that a little bit more. Not have them be so separate. So that could be something. And then in your own chart and in your own life, you would look to see where this Capricorn is, what house it's in, and what house Cancer is in. Like for me personally, Capricorn is in my 12th house, which is a very behind the scenes, subconscious patterning, self-sabotaging behavior, spirituality, things like that, taking time to meditate, all of those types of things. And then on the opposite side, Cancer is in my 6th house of daily habits, health, routines, things like that. So it's very much on a health axis of what you do on your day-to-day. Are you making time for rest? Because 12th house is also sleep and things like that. So like my daily routines is definitely like heavy on my mind, and how can I balance rest, and like, how can I make sure that I'm not overworking and going to burn myself out, is a lot of that. And like figuring out what is sustainable, what growth is sustainable, what can I maintain. So that's kind of the balance that I'm working on personally. And so wherever this axis is for you would be kind of where you're trying to balance this energy. So comment below if you need help kind of figuring out what the axis where this falls for you is indicating. Otherwise, let me know how this is resonating with you, how this energy is hitting, if you're feeling it. Like I said yesterday, I was feeling it a lot because the moon was traveling through Capricorn yesterday, the moon was traveling through Libra, which it is today as well, which is activating a lot of things in my 9th house of belief systems and like Saturn and Venus. So yeah, all these things could be hitting your own chart, in various ways that make you feel the energy as well. So be sure to look to that as well, because there's a lot going on. And it'll especially be activating you if you have any planets or points in Cancer, because you'll be having oppositions, as well as Aries or Libra, because the energy might be squaring your planets there. So keep that in mind as well. If you have planets or points in any of those, you might be feeling this Capricorn energy hitting a little harder, maybe a little harsher than some of the other signs. And likewise, I have a lot of planets in Libra. So this stellium here in Capricorn is squaring my Libra house, which is my 9th house of belief systems and things like that. So there's also that activation for me personally. So you could look to see if you have any of those activations as well. And if you like this content and want to see more, please give me a like, a comment, a subscribe. Anything like that you can do really will help this channel grow, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend.